I'm Dominique Nash. I am a mother of four children, a wife, also a influencer, content creator, entrepreneur, actor, all wrapped up in a pretty bow. But that's not why I came on here live with you guys. I came on here to talk about something that I am so passionate about because my family and I had to deal with homelessness for 6 months. And it wasn't because we were not responsible. No, we had an incident happen to us that can happen to anyone at any time without the proper protection. So, our family was renting a single family home, which we had been renting for 6 years. 6 years is a long time in a home to be renting, but we had to deal with the pandemic and everything else. So leaving there wasn't really at the forefront. Um, Throughout being in this property and renting it for 6 months, it was sold 3 times and all without our knowledge. No prior notice or anything, but the last time that it was sold was in September, excuse me, in 2023. And the company that purchased the home from our landlord, who was a small business owner, was a person. Um, this company was located out in California, but their management company was literally what they call an asset management, an institutional asset management company, meaning that they were not like a regular rental company. They were an institutional style company who only prioritizes capitalism. So it was a corporation. And with this corporation, they went in with such bully tactics to get us out. We had a current active lease with our landlord. Hi. We had an active lease with our landlord that would have been solidified until March of 2024. They came in September 1st, told us nothing about themselves, did not identify themselves. They didn't give us a copy of the deed of sale or anything or trust. But they started charging us late fees immediately. On September 2nd, we had late fees, September 3rd, and we had no idea how to pay. No way to know how to pay them or anything. Now, I reach out for legal representation to try to get help, but I live in what they call a landlord friendly state, which means that there are no protections for tenants, but there are all protections for landlords. And every attorney that I reached out to could not help me. They only help landlords. So I'm stuck with being overcharged with late fees, even though I don't know how to pay this new company my rent. I'm also stuck with them saying, if you agree to sign a new amended lease with us, we will then remove late fees, which is causing duress, and force us to sign an agreement, but just to remove the fees from that was a piling up that was more than the rent. We paid the rent in September, paid the rent in October, but then November came. And I communicated to them on November 1st that we would be paying the rent by the 10th. They said okay. And they filed for eviction on November 3rd with no prior balance. The only amount that we owed was that month. And because of new laws, they now can evict you if you're one day late. Now, with the eviction being on your record, that means that you are looked at as unrentable. You are, because none of these companies, these corporations, when you're applying for these apartments, townhomes, single family homes, There's not a person reviewing your application. It's all AI. So as soon as there's a criteria that's checked off that you had an eviction, you are automatically declined no matter how much you paid for the application fee and whatever fee and all those fees. So we had to spend 6 months homeless. Myself, 4 children, my husband, and a dog. Homeless, family of 6. And what that meant for us is that we had to become short-term renters with vacation rentals through Verbo or either the hotels. So we overpaid just to not have to sleep on the street. I talk about this a lot. I used to talk about it way more when we were going through it because it was my form of therapy, just to not feel alone. The housing crisis is such a big, huge issue in the world. And more people are falling to homelessness because corporations have a right to buy up single family homes without any type of repercussions, and they keep them empty. I was contacted by a congressman, Ro Kohana, and he really wants to push forward with a bill that will stop Wall Street from being able to access single family homes. Literally, what they've been doing is using the funding from the subsidies that were put in place for first-time home buyers and purchase these single family homes and keep them empty. So the supply and demand is completely off. We have a housing scarcity, which means it's inflating the rent. People can't afford to live, and you can't do anything else but try to rent. It's so hard to buy. I'm going to read you a little bit from this amendment. The bill is, to me, it's a good cause to try to help more families not have to go through what me and my family went through. So it's really aimed to stop Wall Street from being able to funnel their wealth through single family home ownership. And I think it's important. And I really, really wanted to come on here to share it with you guys. Make sure that you look out. Okay, I'll come out in a minute. I'm going to tell you exactly what it's called so you can know what to look out for. But this is called the Stop Wall Street Landlord Act. It's a bill aimed at lowering rent cost for Americans by holding Wall Street landlords accountable for their abusive practices. So when a landlord purchases a single family home and they put a family out of it through the eviction process, because there's a loophole there since COVID, what happens is that home stays vacant, and corporations can pay whatever they need to keep it vacant, but they are keeping it vacant and starving the housing market. So with the Stop Wall Street Landlord Act, it will force penalties onto these corporations who keep the home empty for 18 months. They will have to pay 100% of a penalty fee. Support the bill. Support the bill, because there's so many people who have been affected by homelessness. I'm one of them. I can't tell you how it must feel for one person to be homeless, but I can tell you how it feels to be a mom of 4 kids and nowhere to go but to a hotel or Airbnb, because not a lot of people have room for 6 people and a support pet. We have a serious issue, and if more of these Wall Street investors are stopped, then that will create more of a cohesive housing for more people, more American people, more regular people like you and I. So if they don't hoard real estate, then we don't have such an inflated rent rate. To me, it is a bill that will be put on the table that we can push for and really push for change. If we get that approved, then we can push for more things like rent control, more programs put in place for people who fall on homelessness or fall behind in their rent. Because I will tell you right now, from a person who had to deal with homelessness, there are no procedures in place. No, I'm not, because I see what you said before that. The procedure, if you fall to homelessness, is to call 211. And they're supposed to provide you resources based off of the areas where you live. And I would tell you from experience, when you call 211, you're looped around, and they will give you these numbers. You call the numbers, they tell you to call 211. It's just a back and forth cycle. Homelessness is a huge issue, and anybody is subject to it. If you see the bill to stop Wall Street from purchasing homes, please pay attention. Thank you so much. I'll be posting more content about this on my channel. Leave me a comment of how you feel about housing scarcity in America at this time. I'll see you later.